Nitrogen Deposition by Jenna Cassidy, Josephine Hagan, Luke Carter, Owen Francia, and Dakota Cook.
The nitrogen cycle is how nitrogen moves from the atmosphere to Earth. Nitrogen is essential to life on Earth, but it is important to balance it. The largest human-caused change to the nitrogen cycle is a doubling of the transfer from the unreactive atmospheric pool to biologically available forms on land, which is nitrogen fixation. Industrial nitrogen fixation has increased greatly from nearly zero in the 1940s. Certain kinds of crops support nitrogen-fixing organisms, so they get a lot of their nitrogen from atmospheric into.
The changes of the nitrogen cycle causes negative changes in the atmosphere on a global level. These changes are mostly caused by humans, both directly and indirectly. More of these nitrogen emissions in the atmosphere lead to the deposition to the biosphere, like land and oceans. Some of the negative changes include affecting human and plant health as well as acid rain. Nitrogen deposition is the amount of nitrogen put into the earth from the atmosphere. Nitrogen deposition changes within an ecosystem. For example, it can be through fertilizers. And this can affect different plants and how they grow based on how they react to nitrogen. The nitrogen deposition effects on biodiversity is that it is reduced because many plant species have a decline from these high levels of nitrogen.
Nitrogen saturation has to do with the nitrogen cycling in forest ecosystems undergoing changes that happen as nitrogen limitations to biological functions are lightened by nitrogen additions. And experiments have shown that with an increase in nitrogen leads to a loss of nutrient cations and increase in acidity in soil and water. This directly contributes to degenerating forest ecosystems in places such as California and Colorado, which are known for their national parks. Nitrogen saturation has led to an increase in concentration in surface water. This has also had its impact on drinking water, which has raised a level of concern for humans. This nitrogen saturation has also played an effect on the acidification in lake waters, which has destroyed those ecosystems. Lastly, humans have played a role in the eutrophication of estuaries through the way we have altered the nitrogen cycling, which harms things such as the reef and diversity of animal life at sea.
There are a variety of uncertainties about the nitrogen cycle that we are not aware of. One uncertainty we have is pertaining to marine nitrogen fixation. While we believe that humans could alter marine life biologically, there is insufficient evidence. Human alteration of denitrification we have limited information about. We know humans have altered it in a variety of ways, but we are uncertain on the full perspective. The future is bound to be very dependent on nitrogen and how it can benefit us later. The benefits are numerous. Nitrogen can be used for agriculture, which will be very important for us as the number of people is expected to be about 2 times the amount it is now by the end of 2100. Finding new ways to maximize the efficiency is super important for our evolving world to stay sustained by resources.
The nitrogen cycle is how nitrogen moves from the Earth to the atmosphere. The nitrogen cycle is essential to life on Earth and is a natural process. Recently, though, human intervention in the nitrogen cycle to help grow our crops has started to damage different ecosystems and the atmosphere across the planet due to unnaturally high levels of nitrogen. This is starting to become a problem even for humans. So now we are looking at how to use nitrogen cycling in a way that won't damage the environment or atmosphere and protect our future prospects.